The time is a bit awkward for many people, but you guys agreed that we should come up today. That's why we are here. So let's come on in. Um, when it comes to nurses registration to New Zealand, we've overflogged this issue here that really, really feel that everybody should have known what we are here for. But then, because people keep requesting, possibly, I know it's really not easy to sit down and be monitoring patients. But then, please let's make efforts to watch. If you actually watch those videos, I believe we will be very, very comfortable with everything that is happening. We will just be asking some few questions underneath those videos, honestly, if we've been able to do that. But then let me assume that everybody is busy. Majority cannot sit down and watch videos. But at the same time, since it's something that will give every one of us rest of mind, make us happy, give us our desired career need, professional advancements, I would just cancel that we should make efforts to invest more time into going through those videos, as it is tough for many people to come online and sit down for this discussion. It's a bit busy too for me. Hi, my brother or sister, NA. You're welcome here. I can see you. I sight you. You are doing well. Thank you so much for joining. So, and as it is a bit not too easy for many people to come in, let's make efforts to go through whatsoever we have here. We can ask questions underneath those videos. I purposely make those videos because I know at some point it might not be so easy for me to keep coming to the same thing on WhatsApp, typing the same thing over and over again. But if we have those things as backstage, I mean, like backbones or like the prerequisites, we can build on those things. So if we have them as building blocks, we can, like foundational blocks, we can actually build on them with questions. It will just remain questions to be answered. So if anyone who wants to register as a nurse in New Zealand might possibly have two reasons. Maybe because the person wants to Maybe because the person wants to migrate to New Zealand to go and practice there, or the person is actually thinking of gaining the registration and at some point move to Australia. Whichever thing we've decided to do with our registration, I believe it's really worth all the efforts we are putting into it. Personally, I've seen people going to those two countries, and so far so good. I haven't seen people regretting their move, even those who are students that are there, either New Zealand or Australia. I've seen people who moved to New Zealand to study, and they had to, if you go to New Zealand to study, there are some courses they give you scholarship and they ask you to go back and use that course to develop your country before you come back to them, or to maybe to leave or to come and work with them or whatsoever. I've seen people in that situation, and I'm in such situations. And I've seen people who had gone to Australia. Possibly we will be hosting someone this evening. It might not be a live hosting, because I really don't know if the network will be great. Then with my whole team live, he had lived in Australia and is now in the United Kingdom, and he have good reasons to come around, and I believe he was already a citizen, so he's not losing anything coming here. He's coming to the United Kingdom. So, and he wants to share his experiences with us. So, prayers and self-sponsoring myself for skill using your videos and make it. Amen, amen, and amen, and amen, and amen. Please, if you need more support, please ask the tutors, please. We are always very much ready to give support. Yes, I have people around me who self-sponsored for OSCE. Even in my very own house, there are people like my blood who self-sponsored for OSCE and they passed brilliantly. So your own will not be an exemption. So your own will not be an exemption. You will pass, and you will pass brilliantly. And we celebrate your victory together. So back to the issue of our registration. New Zealand to me sort of seems to be one of those easiest countries to get registrations in as registered nurses from other nations. And why am I saying that? Except Nova Scotia, that seems to be like jumping above them now. I pray Nova Scotia works out very, very well. I'm very, very hopeful that it's really going to work. It has started working. So I believe Nova Scotia is going to work. But besides then, I think New Zealand happens to have won my heart long, long ago. I think they just changed their IELTS whatsoever to band 7 about 2 or 3 years ago. Before it used to be 6.5. And interestingly, you can gather those results in 4 tests. Like, I'm not praying people should be writing 4 tests, but there are some people, they will write the test, everything will be scattered everywhere. Today, they will pass. Next, they will now pass and 7, they will have maybe 3 or 4 or 5 in another. Next one, they will write in the others. Next one, they will write. They will now have 7 in reading alone. Others will be band 4. Next one, they will write. They will now have 6.5 in writing alone. Others will now be 6.5. If you have such a result, New Zealand is very happy to take that result. They are very happy. They are not dealing with, UK will say you must have 7 overall, and USA will say you should have 6.5 overall. New Zealand doesn't deal with your overall result. They only deal with you having the required bands across board, and whether the person have band 1 in speaking this time, but next time they are able to have the 7 that are required. They are just going to take it like that, in as much as you are able to club everything, and they club as much as 4 results. Some places will say you can only club 2 results. I know at least UK will say you should club only 2 results. Australia will say you should only club 2 results. That's if you want to do Australia straight away and go and do bridging program and all that and all that. Now, but these guys, they are so, in to me, from my point of view, I think that's a level of magnanimity. That's a level of being able to accommodate people. It's not like, okay, you were able to pass speaking last time. Your speaking was good last month, and maybe something happened. Maybe the examiner was not even smiling at you. Maybe your face looked like the face of the lady who jilted the examiner this time, and you are speaking and speaking and speaking, and the examiner was already angry, or your name looked like the name of someone in their family that never liked the examiner. Like, your name is Priska, and there was a Priska who was witch hunting this examiner sometimes in their family or maybe in the school, and had developed some kind of negative emotions toward the person. And the person just decided to, whether you speak like whoever, Chimamanda, or I don't know who is a very good speaker, or you speak like Wole Soyinka, I'm just going to give you band 5. Even if that happens, so far you've had that speaking in one of the results, New Zealand is going to embrace you with your results. All they want to see is across board, across board, across board, you were able to get everything that they need. They do not specialize in overall results. They are not so passionate about you having 7 across, or maybe you just gather everything. I think we are okay with that. And they accept occupational English test. So they accept IELTS, they accept occupational English test. When you fix those ones, then you go and create your account. In many of our videos, you've seen the link to creating the account. And the moment you create your account, you will, I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see what I want to show. If I couldn't operate on my computer, oh, if I've no, I can't share screen here. I wish I could share screen. I can't share screen, or can I? It doesn't seem so. Sorry, guys. Okay, well, I don't know what I've pressed though. I can't share screen. If I could share screen, I would just share my screen with you guys. And hello, can everybody still hear me? If you can hear me, say hello, please. Say hi in the Hi guys, can you still hear me? Yeah, thank you very much. I know. So, when you've opened your account, I'm not sure if this is clear. I'm sure it will be sort of sideways or very good. I don't know how to, but whatsoever, your screen will look somehow like this. When you've created your account, this is head down, CGFNS International, my profile. And when you look at the beside that C up there, you will see three lines. On those three lines, if you click that, you will see home, you will see myriads of information being shared on that line. You see home, you see my profile, my portfolio, shopping carts, transaction history, support. All those items you have there. Please, at every stage of your registration, I mean these ones, by the time you open your account, it will not be head down like this. If I'm opening on laptop, I'll be able to, like, I would have been able to share the screen, but unfortunately I can't share the screen. The laptop here switches itself off, so don't worry. I don't want a situation we get into the middle of it and everything will just disappear and we will have to start all over again. So use all those things, because there are situations where you will need to update things on your profile. You may need support. That's why people start asking, where is CGFNS email? Oh? Where is CGFNS phone number? Oh? But if you know that that support is there, you will be able to see those things. Their contacts are there. You can contact them from that place. Now, when you've created your account, you will need to pay 300 US dollars. It is CGFNS in the USA that is doing this, but they have a branch that is for New Zealand assessment, document assessment, and they have a branch that is taking care of USA assessment. So for those who want to write NCLEX, they want to migrate to the United Kingdom, they want to go to Canada, and those who want to go straight from here to Australia and do their outcome based assessment, which I don't think it's really worth it for now. But I'm not saying that it's not okay. If that's what you desire to do, that's fine. So, but this New Zealand pathway to Australia seems to be the easiest. And even if you want to sit down in New Zealand, all those two countries are still very beautiful too. And interestingly, I think in July now, they came up with, if you are a New Zealand citizen, you can just get your PR straight to Australia without even stressing yourself. Like it's like automatic something stuff like that. So you have 8 criteria that you must fulfill, that you must have in that your under your profile. You must be able to fulfill some things to be fit to apply for this job, or those things you must supply to them that will make them assess your documents and say, oh, you are fit, we can vouch for you that you will be a very good nurse. Now, your personal information, you fill in your details. When you are done filling in your details, then put in your identity documents. Your details will include your name, your gender, whether you're African, whether you want to be referred to as a man or a woman, or you want to be referred to as both. Nobody's fighting anybody. You can choose. This is a place of be whatever you want to be. Okay, so no say mentor say you cannot be what you want to be. Your date of birth, your address, and all those things, they will be there when you've opened and put in your personal information. You want to be called Mr., you want to be called Mrs., you want to be called Miss, and all that. Then you move into your contact information. That's where you have your address, your email address, your home address, your postcode, your phone number, because there might be correspondences for you. They don't want you to miss out of information. Then when you are done with that, your identity documents here, you will need two identity documents. Your international passport is one, very important, and don't use an invalid international passport. An invalid international passport is that which is going to expire today or tomorrow has expired. So have something valid that when your registration is going on, when your documentation, when your assessment is going on, you will not be running katakata, running kitty kitty. Have that. And this is very important. You are going to notarize those documents. You can go over to lawyers, notary publics to notarize. Here in the United Kingdom, I'm not sure if they accept that of Nigeria. In the United Kingdom, we do take those things to the post office, and post office will just sign it for us. So post offices, they sign, like they certify. Notary public will notarize. And there are some notary publics that their things are quite on the high side, but I know someone who is a noble notary public. So if you need that help, you come back to our WhatsApp group. I will signpost you to them. Their price is very, very comfortable. I used him in 2015 when someone asked me to pay 60,000 for all my notarization in Oshogbo. I had to go, and someone in Ibadan said I should pay 35,000. I had to go back to the person. Is an elderly lawyer but a notary public, and he did all those notarization for me as 2,400. You will not believe it, but that was actually what happened. And since then, I held on tight to his phone number and that of his secretary. So you see, the difference is such crystal clear. You don't actually want to joke with that. So if you need help along that line, we organize that. Then you can actually use notary public. But to me, I think the notary public thing is very expensive because it's a very big dollars, very, very big. So when you are filling your form, if you are wealthy and you want to throw some money around, and you don't think, oh, I want to share with mentor out of this money that I have that is even itching my body, I want to throw it to notary camp. I'm not against you. Anything that makes you comfortable, but I don't think with what Naira is speaking and what we nurses are earning. Sorry, I know some of us are quite big and will continue to be big. But when I was there, yeah, I wasn't really big. I was just a bloody, I was just a bloody teaching hospital nurse. So I didn't have much money like you guys are having these days. So, but then I don't think Notre Dame is good for us for now, not even under this Tinubu whatsoever. So all of you wey shout bat that time, see things now. Sorry, that's on a lighter mood and a serious mood anyway. So identity document you notarize, it must be your international passport and one identity document, which could be your birth certificate, could be your marriage certificate, could be divorce certificate for those who are divorced. God forbid bad things, but if it has happened, there's nothing we can do about that for now. Just use anything that makes you comfortable, please. And it's a photocopy. You don't need to go and scan, color scanning, all those paparazzi. New Zealand is very, very easy. They make life easy. Just do a photocopy. Ensure it is very clear and take it. Let them write, I cite this thing, and put the notary seal on it. Or that's all. You are fine. If you are in the UK, you can use your BRP and your international passports. You can use our NIN, Nigerian NIN. You can use that. You can use voters card if it is valid. Anything. You will have a list by the time you open your account. And when you have settled that, you will just upload it. No, it's not anything too big. So you will upload it. I'm operating here as if I'm talking to people who are coming from international background, who are not yet registered in other countries like United Kingdom, USA, Canada, Ireland, Australia. I think I'm talking to such people. And if I'm not talking to you, please let me know if you're already registered in any of those bigger countries. Let's share with you. You are to your education history and start from the one you closest. If you end your PhD, if that's what you end last year, that comes first. Your master's that you end last 2 or 3 years come next to that. But ensure you are able to supply documents that will be required at every stage. And these days, I see that you can actually upload your transcript. So please don't joke with your transcript. If you need to get your transcript, or if you have a student copy of your transcript that they have not used stamp to destroy, like me, I have my transcript. I have a full transcript that is not student copy, and I have my student copy. And I think it makes life easier instead of going around. That will be the time that there will be no fuel and people are not going to work, and the registrar is not coming, your HOD is not coming, nobody is filling that form for you, the departmental secretary is not coming. If you have your transcript, you just go there, pull it out, uh, scan it, upload, then you are good to go. They make it easier. It wasn't even still like this in April, because I have people around me who were still doing it in April. It just came around, I think, May or June. So I count you guys as being fortunate. They are making the processes easier by the day, and I pray none of us will lose out of such a time of favor like this, in Jesus' name, or in the name of everything we are serving. So put all your education history. And one thing we did in those days was that we were able to get the school curriculum to go along with our documents. So if you're organizing your documents from your school of training, do let it go with the curriculum, your medication, especially your medication assessment, very, very important. But then if it can go with this curriculum, mine went with the curriculum. I think it went with syllabus too, sort of, and it went with Australia was not really kind to me then. It went with accreditation reports of some institutions that I've attended, yet I couldn't still go in then. That's why I think anyone who sees this pathway to New Zealand and is quite happy to go and walk around those two countries and doesn't jump at this New Zealand pathway, you really don't know what you are missing. People like us, that thing has injured, seriously, because it injured me financially those days. We actually know that this pathway is very easy and beautiful. So please put all those documents, upload them. You can upload them these days and it's fine. In your documents, especially in that support area, you will see a place where they put so many things. You can write notes, you can upload files. There you can just upload whatsoever you want to upload. If you need to upload your file, if you need to upload your test results, you can upload from that site. And people who are here to write tests, if you know you want to take this pathway, the moment you are filling your form for the exam, you want to book your exam, you know there's a place they will ask whether you want them to send it to some organizations. Remember to put CGFNS New Zealand or CGFNS USA or New Zealand Nursing Board or Australian Nursing Board. All those areas you can put. Make sure you utilize those 5 spaces they are giving you. At least if you have an idea of where you want to go, do you want to write NCLEX, then you know CGFNS USA. If any one of them have it, they can transfer it to the other, please. And a cheat code here. By the time you send all your documents, you can still request CGFNS to keep your documents for you. You make a token of payment, they will keep your documents for you. And if you need, like, instead of going back to the university to claim your transcript and they are wasting time, you just mail CGFNS to forward your document to so organization. That's a cheat code, one hack. Keep it on your left hand if you are a right hand hitter, so you don't eat with it. And if you eat with the left, then you will now go to your employment history. Employment history is very important here. I will let you know why it is important. So don't say, I work under one mama or one baba. The mama was a winch. Thank God that our nursing leaders in Nigeria these days, they are quite lovely, pleasant. I still met some of those tough people in nursing in those days, but these days, most of them, at least most that I knew, where I worked in Nigeria, from the DD to the HOD to the DD of my unit to everyone that I worked with were quite pleasant to me personally. It's not like occasionally you will not brush body on some of them, you will know how to apologize, but at least very different from what we still met as students in schools. So at least many of them are approachable. If you know that your leader is approachable, fine. If they are not approachable, you can do a certification. You can self-certify your employment. It's just a click on that form. You will see where they will say if you want to self-certify, and they will ask you to click. If you click it, if they want you to upload anything, just upload your employment letter and possibly the letters you've used to gain some promotions. So those things at least will be evidential that you have worked in that organization. And that one, you are free from running after referees. You are free from running after someone who will not have time to write letter for you. We say they don't have departmental letterhead, and you must pass through the DA before they will stamp, before they will give them letterhead and this and this and that. You are free. So self-certify, click that form, upload your employment letter, upload some of the promotion stuffs that you've had till something that is up to date, possibly upload your workplace ID. That one, they know you are employed. All right, I think I'm making sense. So that way you are free from going everywhere looking for so many things. That's about employment reference. And don't shortchange yourself, because if you've been working for the past 8 years, let's assume at some point you decide that, oh, I want to go and work in Australia. That's why I want to do this. The best, highest points you can get from work experience in Australia, if you want to go through independent skill migration pathway, is 8 years work experience. That will give you 15 solid points. And if you are 7 years, 11 months, 27 days, that's 7 years. If you count it as 7 years, and you will have 10 points. And when we talk of pulling points, people who have been in express entry, that are entering pool for Canada, will understand the impact of 1 point at some point, not to even say a whole 5 big points. So please don't lose out any of your years of experience. Even if you cannot get reference, the moment you still have your offer letter, you are good to go. And you can just attest, do attestation, go to the court, do attestation. If you cannot find your employment letter again, do affidavit, do attestation. At least you can still find your, maybe your pension slip, you can still find your bank where they are paying your money to. All those things are good to go. So put everything there and continue with your application. Then another thing, in terms of employment, you must be practicing nursing, and you must at least be practicing nursing in the last 2 years to this time. If you are not able to gain maybe everything they need, or in the last 5 years, maybe you've been practicing for whatever reasons, you stop practicing, you went to, maybe for whatever reason you are not practicing. You know, when COVID came, so many people were withdrawing from work and all that and all that. But you must have 2,500 hours of practice in the last 5 years. So it's either you are consistently practicing from the last 2 years till now, or you are able to garner 2,500 hours of your practice in the last 5 years, or both together. Please keep those things very, very important. We don't want people to pay all $300, which is like almost going to 300,000 now, with what Naira is saying, and now come back with some stories that are touching the kidney, touching the liver, touching the heart, touching all vital organs in the body. All right. So when you file that, also your license or registration must be in date. So it's not like your license has expired 2 years ago, or last year, or maybe expired last month and you are starting. No, please, so keep your license in date. And I think licenses are even coming pretty fast these days. And if they are not coming fast, we all know how to get our licenses. I'm not going to be speaking like Tiameyu here. God bless you. So please get your licenses, make sure they are ready, and you will need to confirm your registration. You will upload your license or put in your PIN. Those of us who are using PIN, even while we use PIN, we still copy the letter we got when we passed the OSCE, the letter the congratulatory letter they sent to us, we still uploaded for them. So please, when you are doing whatsoever you are doing, ensure that you have your PIN there, or you are at least able to copy your page of NMC. If you haven't had your EK, I still don't know what NMC is doing with that EK, because everywhere your registration is online, your registration is just in your head, or is your PIN. So I don't know why it is still very important for our NMCN to be carrying about Ike, the plastic. The moment you have your number, you are good. They don't need that plastic again. They could as well give the person who is doing that job in that office, give that person another assignment that will be fast tracking issuance of maybe documents to people, registration, verification, and all those things, instead of having them to be printing out TK every time now and then. If you have friend in NMCM, please tell them the registration number is what is really needed. It's not actually the EK and the expiry period. Basic. So you must have that. And council will send your verification to them. So you have to action that. You have to go into your professional updates whatsoever and go and request that verification be sent to CGFNS New Zealand. Don't make the mistake of sending it to CGFNS USA. Now let me pop this in here so that I do not forget. If you already have an ongoing assessment with CGFNS USA, maybe for this US stuff and Canada stuff or anything you want to write in place, all you need to do at this point will be for you to send, like, create your account, pay your £300, send a mail to CGFNS US or called CGFNS US that you want to process New Zealand. They should share your documents with CGFNS New Zealand. Don't forget. So you don't go and start all over looking for this, looking for that, looking for everything, when you can just message or call them that please kindly, I'm in the process registration and I have my documents already with CGFNS USA for this for so purpose, and I would appreciate if you could share my document with the New Zealand arm of CGFNS. Basic, simple, and they will share. And like I told you, they keep documents. And when you are done, you can just tell them that, okay, I want to keep my documents with you. How much should I pay per annum? So you don't keep, we can save ourselves so much headaches. I give kudos to some very lovely lecturers. Professor Adejumo, God bless her. Anytime I say, Mama, please, I need this, oh, please, ma, I need this, she's always very happy. And I've seen someone I've never seen before that the person said, they said, oh, mentor knows Prof. Adejuma. And the person called me from Canada. Please, I want a contact of someone. She did not even have contact of people in the department. You know, some people were quite, they've been in those departments far before we were born. And I just said, oh, okay. I just called her, ma, please, this is what I need. And she said I should share contact with the person, and that settled it. So please, but instead of going around, if you can keep your document, why not keep it? You might need it for some other things, like if they want to employ you as ambassador of whatsoever to the United States, or what, will you now start running everywhere? Niger factor will be delaying person. Oh, you just send them mail or call them that please, I want to keep my documents, and they will ask you, they will tell you what to pay, and they will keep it for you. I have people doing that. Before I could realize they were doing that, my own documents, I think, has almost expired, so I did not. But if I have option, I will just do it. But that my sister did it. She did it. That was what she did. So that's fine. So you can, now that you can share your documents instead of starting all over again. Create account, pay 300, call them to share your documents. The only thing that you might need at that point again is if your verification has expired. If it has not expired, then you are good. If it has expired, then they might ask that you pick verification again. But I think that will be better than for you to go and be getting documents from schools and be using 35,000 to DHL everywhere, or running after schools that you will not be able to get them to just fix transcripts. Lesson for you. Transcript that will work for, transcript that I will sit down in this house like this, and I will just mail the school I attended here, and they will just send to me, or I will just call them. They will say log into your to your account and do this, and I will be able to just print transcripts. We have to go around in Nigeria, and may God bless our nation. So that is that confirmation and of your licensure and registration, and that's your verification. Then your language proficiency. The moment you are able to fix those things, push everything to them, then go and sit down and be praying and drinking water and dropping cups. Nothing more. And by the time they are done and they feel, oh, if they need anything, they will let you know. So keep checking those places I showed us when we first started. These 3 lines, these they call it what the hamburger sign, or what do they call it? Just keep checking those hamburger, because sometimes messages will come, and follow your emails too. Lokpe, go to daddy. Daddy is downstairs. Daddy is home today. And Lola, oh yeah, lọ bá wọn. O ṣé o. So keep checking, because sometimes they will send you message you may not know. And if you don't check your email, you check your email. If you are not checking your email, be checking this your home page on your registration board, and that is it. Now, when you are done with that, when they are fine with all you've sent to them, they will complete the assessment and they will send your documents, they will send their report to New Zealand Nursing Board. By the time they send those things to New Zealand Nursing Board, New Zealand will tell you that they will send you an assessor within 14 days. Now, the moment you have that, you should start your fit to work. Fit to work is like our police clearance check, but that is an international criminal history check, ICHC. So that's the one, those who are doing Nova Scotia will know. What is it? Is it CIC that Canada is calling it now? Criminal something check. Oh, I can't even remember what Nova Scotia is calling it. But it's your international criminal it's international criminal history check. The moment you make the payment, they are the one that will contact police PCC office in Nigeria. You don't have to do anything about it. No, thank you. And so they are the one that will contact PCC office for you in Nigeria. The moment they contact them, just go and be praying if you are in Nigeria. These days is really coming, is going really, really very fast. Ọmọ ìyá ṣubú tó ń gbẹ́sẹ̀ sórí kí ni. Ẹ ṣáà máa mú lọ kókó sí ti fẹ́ plug ẹ̀ sí for now. All right, thank you. Sorry, my people. So while you are waiting for them to allocate an assessor for you in New Zealand, start your fit to work. You spell fit like fitness, then number 2 AG, like when you are writing to the 2 after the 12 on this screen now. 1 2 work, fit to work. So like you are fit, you have no criminal history, you have not killed anyone, you haven't raped anyone, you haven't been maltreating aged people or children or anything. They are just going to clear you. Fit to work is a bit pricey too. I can't remember how much it is, but at every stage, just take the spending as they come. Don't overload yourself. If you want to save money so that you have something to fall back on. But I think it's a bit like maybe 175 something. I can't remember clearly. Let me not give you fake information. I should have those details somewhere. I will let you know at some point. So when you have that, by the time they will allocate someone to you, your fit to work should be almost ready. Your criminal history check should almost be ready. If they are ready, your assessor will just jump into it. Assessor will now come to you 14 days and say they will do your assessment in the next 20 days. That's one bit that used to be not so funny to me, to just sit pretty on the table 20 days. But then all good, because you still have something to be looking forward to. Without your fit to work today, we not could do the assessment. No problem. We get the email, my sister. We get that when we get back to our family house. I'll get the mail for you guys. But even on your dashboard, if you created your account, the email is actually there too. That's why you click on the support. If you click on the support, then you will see the email address there. You will see their phone numbers there. So when you have done that, made that payment, by the time that 20 days, if they don't have anything to request from you again, sometimes they will have some things to request from some people. Other times they don't even actually have anything. If they don't have anything to request from you, next thing you will see is your APC. They will tell you to make a payment so that you can get your annual practicing certificate. The moment you make the payment, which I forgot the money too, I have the list. I will send the list. So the moment you do that, then maybe within 24 hours you get that license, your number, that's your digits, your pin, basic, simple. The moment you get that, if you want to work with New Zealand, all you just need to go online, search for job. If you want to go with agencies, they are fine too. There is no point even stressing yourself if you have agents that could pull those things for you and they are not going to charge you exorbitant. It's not like UK NHS that they are not paying some of their in the UK too, if agents are recruiting you, normally they should not be paid, but New Zealand you pay their agents to do those things for you, but those prices are not even much. Because I did one, I got a job, I think all I needed to pay them was £150 to get it going, but then I was waiting for some things and my kiddies passports were not even still ready then, so I couldn't pull that through. So that's done. You get that. The moment you get that, if you want to move further into getting Australian license, then you go on APRA website. APRA website, AHPRA. Just fill the form. There's a form you fill there, the Trans-Tasmania Mutual Relationship TTMR form. You fill that. Trans-Tasmania Mutual Relationship is that relationship that connects New Zealand and Australia together, such that if you are a permanent resident or citizen of Australia, you can just carry your kaya and say, I want to go and be working in New Zealand, or you carry your load and say, if you are, I want to be working in Australia, whichever way. So fill that form and get your Australian registration. In those days, like I used to tell everybody, it used to come within 24 hours. The moment you fill that form, within 24 hours, you will get your Australian nursing registration. It is that very, very simple. Australia registration, that is among like one of the toughest. I think in those days, it used to rank this way. Canada, the most, God don't humble all of them. God has humbled them. So then next was Australia then. But with New Zealand, it is very easy. In fact, it is so easy that all you need to do is fill form, make payment. And it is so that they don't even transfer like paperwork or whatsoever. They just look at your registration and just issue. The trust is so deep to that extent. And once you get that, fine. That is still not the destination. If you want to go and work in Australia, you will still move forward and assess your documents with AMAC. AMAC is the body that will assess your years of experience, your qualifications. And wúrà ńlé, ẹ yé pariwo, mo busy in bíbáyìí. So that AMAC will assess your years of experience and the experience, the skills, the access skills. Anyone who is familiar with Australia knows they do 2 assessments to get you going, especially if you want to do their permanent residency program. You do your qualification assessment, which is all that you've gone through CGFNS and New Zealand and landed with APRA. But now, for them to know that you are able to work, you must assess your experience. So it is your experience, your skill. You would have been hearing skill assessment or skill migration and all that. They will assess your skill and say, oh, she's fit. And they will give you years that they think is very relevant. And that's why I'm saying you should not shortchange yourself. So if you've been working for the past 15 years and you just put there that you've been working for the last 2 or 3 years, maybe because you've moved to the UK and you are working in the UK, you have just reduce the number of years they should count for you as someone who is skilled, to say someone has been skilled for the last 3 years, instead of saying you have been skilled for the past 15 years or at least the past 8 years, which makes very, very big difference by the time you want to apply for skill migration. Very big difference. How is it a difference? If you've been working for 0 to 3 years, Australia will put that as 0 points. If you have worked for 3 to 5 years, Australia will see that as 5 points. If you have worked between 5 and less than 8 years, Australia sees that as 10 points. And if you have worked for anything from 8 years and above, Australia will reckon with that as 15 points. Now, when you are doing skill, when you are now doing skill assessment, like you want to go as permanent resident, you don't want employer to sponsor you, you don't want any string attached to the employer, 15 points will make a whole lot of difference by the time you add your English score, you add your degree points, you add your, what point do we have? English points, degree point, your years, the age that is on our head, like clock. All those things count. So please don't lose any year out of your years of experience if possible. If you must at least lose anything, at least if you work for 8 years above, make sure you are able to claim 8 points, because it is what you feel for AMAC. What is in your reference letter for AMAC is not really so very difficult. All you need to do is you will upload, you will be the one to upload everything for AMAC. The only thing AMAC will expect from elsewhere will just be your verification. That's if it has expired. If it has not expired and New Zealand can help you to transfer it to them, then you should be fine. If it has expired, you will need to get that verification again back to AMAC again. The moment you do that, then you are very, very good to go. You should just be ready to go and do whatever you want to do, whether you want to go and practice in Australia or you want to go there as a skill migrant and all that. If you have any question, please ask me questions. Thank you, everyone, for listening to me today. I appreciate your presence. Thank you for always loving to hear my voice. It's not everybody that people want to hear their voices. So I count it as privilege. I don't take it for granted, and I don't take your times for granted. Please ask me questions. If you have questions, kindly ask me your questions. If we don't have questions, should we call it a Wednesday and then we go back to our WhatsApp platform so that any information we need to share there Nicodemously, we can share them there. Yeah, I will push the email. How can we get it? I will push the email. I'll push the email. And one thing again, you may need to follow up closely with CGFNS. CGFNS, you get your documents, they will say, oh, they will upload in 6 weeks. 6 working weeks or something like that. It's quite painful sometimes, and I've seen situations they've lost people's documents while they were waiting to upload in 6 weeks. So please, the moment your document has gone, you get the tracking number, and make sure you get tracking number, because that's a big deal too sometimes. If you don't have tracking number, they will just say, oh, they cannot tell you anything because whatsoever. But if you have the tracking number, they will say they will check for you. Okay, we've checked, it's been delivered, this and that, but we are not going to work on it for the next 6 weeks. So you have to be on top of following your documents closely at every stage. I wish every one of us beautiful experience in the journey, and I wish us success. I just pray success and success and success for everyone. By the special grace of God, all these journeys, these efforts will end in maximum praises for us. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. Now, yeah, I just pushed you as if you were in the UK at some point. Now, when they've sent your documents and you have done fit to work, and the board will now get back to you. You know, I said they will say 14 days, assessor will get back to you. Assessor will say 20 days, they will be ready whatsoever. After that 20 days, those of us that are coming from other nations, they will now issue. Mommy, yes, girl. Oh, my head. You like it? Yeah. Okay. Oh. Oh. Okay, go. Let's talk to big mummies and big uncles. So the moment, go to that dinner. So the moment the assessor is done with that thing, they will now issue you eligibility letter. It means you are eligible to come and do CAP. But while you are even waiting for that, as you've started sending your documents, if you have passed your English test, you've created your account, go online and start looking for all those employers that are looking for people. I used to see them on Indeed. They will say they are looking for someone who is in the process of CGFNS registration to work as HCA. They will support them to get their competency, to go through their competency assessments program. Now, competence assessment program is a program that is like acclimatization program where they indoctrinate us who they feel we do not have the kind of experience in the developed world according to them. Of course, we are well grounded, we have been trained very well, but there are some talk of gadgets we are not very much exposed to, except those who are very fortunate to be working in some private hospitals that are really great, or maybe those in National Hospital Abuja, those in Lagoon Hospital, St. Nicholas, Reddington, just name all those great hospitals in Nigeria that have access to many of those equipments. One, so they will train you to be able to handle such equipment. They will train you, will be able to do ECG, maybe do bits of interpretations of ECG and all that. You'll be able to handle CPAP, BiPAP, their infusion set, their IV set, their NG tube, their parenteral feeding gadgets. You'll be able to handle all those things. Then you will be able to acculturate, to get yourself into their culture. You know, here they share teas, all those things. Don't come to hospital in Nigeria and I will now be sharing teas for you now. So some of those cultures, we have to get used to them. I'm sorry, oh my dress Baba Kasumo. So at that point, if you get such job, that is where the HCA thing comes in. And that is where I don't understand people that are online and saying New Zealand is recruiting HCAs. And I see many people clapping, and it's not completely true. They are getting HCAs, but they are not getting like UK is getting. If you are a tailor and you've done those Florence training, Allison's training, Kiatemi trainings and all that, and you have those care certificates, UK will pull you in. They will interview you and say, oh, you are fit, then you are good to come to them. But it is not like that in New Zealand. New Zealand have people doing their ACA jobs, but they are happy to pull you straight. Those employers, I've seen many of them, most of them are actually care homes, but it's not bad. Care home is not bad. Some of us were afraid of care homes, but I think it's not really bad at all. And they are kind of patients we used to see too consistently. It's only that the way you handle them there will be quite different from the way we handle them back at home, because of their feeding, their mobility stuff, and so many other things. The gadgets they will use to mobilize, how you take their beddings and all those things could be very different from ours back at home. So at that point in time, mentorship. Okay, maybe when we come to when we come to our WhatsApp group, you ask further. I don't know what mentorship is about, but if you need any help, we are always on those groups. Many of us that have gone through the path, we are very much ready to help, and it's really not difficult. It's not. It's just getting. If you are just starting and going by the way it is, you won't find it difficult. Just go with it steadily as it is, please. But if you are stuck at any point, we are very much ready to help. We are not billing anyone. maybe except the CV team group that are helping, like guiding, teach how you can make your CV beautiful and all that. Because I'm not the one in their time, I don't pay their bills and all that. Sometimes they may want to say, oh, you have to help me with something, maybe to push my data or anything. Other than that, we are not doing anything that people have to pay for. We are just doing everything from the knowledge God has given us. So, but you will not work alone, except you don't want to ask questions. At least people are getting the registrations on those platforms, please. So you will not work alone. Please, be rest assured. Calm down like this. So I have someone who is going this month. She's starting on 1st of August. She's going from Nigeria, and she got the HCA thing. They will be helping her, they will be supporting her to go through her CAP. CAP takes 6 to 12 weeks. CAP is very expensive in some places, and sometimes it could be difficult to get the offer to come and do the CAP. It's most of their polytechnics that are running those CAP training programs. 6 to 12 weeks, I said. You will do bits of anatomy, you will do pharmacology, you will do your assessments, and I learned it is a very rigorous training. But it cannot break us now. It can't. If you've done PTS, or you've run through the 4 walls of the university in your year one, rushing from one department to the other to go and take classes, like you are finishing in a class at 9 a.m. and they are saying another class is coming in another place in that same 9 a.m. It's only that your class rep would have organized with the tutor in that, I mean with the lecturer, that, oh, we will finish in a so class at 9, so they will give you extra 5 or 10 minutes to jump into that class. CAP cannot break our bones, so relax. It will be a walk in the park. Yes, private hospitals are experiences now. Very beautiful experiences. They are experiences, and I mentioned some private hospitals to us. Private hospitals are actually maybe doing bigger jobs in some situations, and even much more exposed to many gadgets because of their inclination to wanting to take. They are very much passionate about their patients, and sort of. So please, so no experience is a waste. So your private, even your voluntary stuff too, in some situations, I'm sure Australia used to consider those things. Fún mi ní búrẹ́dì. Ó yá lọ bá mi rub butter sí kó mu wá. Kíjà sábà mi ṣe tí wá. Má ṣubú. Sorry, my people, I haven't eaten. I was fasting because of you. I start New Zealand process before passing I ate. I won't say no for you if you want to start. But I think it might be much more, if you have the confidence in yourself. I won't say you can't start. I will not say you can't start, but I doubt they will start your assessment, because in most situations, the moment they receive your document, the first thing they used to ask for, from my experiences, your English test reports or results. So, but you can create your account. But if you have the confidence in yourself, I pray God will help everyone. Nobody will fail. Then go on ahead, please. So CAP, let me go back to CAP. It is as expensive as 2,500 New Zealand dollars to 16,000 New Zealand dollars, depending on which one you are able to get. If you are able to get the cheap one, they are not saying it is the most expensive that they are happy to take. No. The moment you pass, you've passed. None. It doesn't matter whether it's coming from 16,000 school or it's coming from 2,500 school. Now, one thing that the government is doing is, if you've gone through and you've passed and you want to stay and work in New Zealand, they refund 10,000 New Zealand dollars to you. So if your training was 12,000, they will give you 10,000. If it is 10,000, they will refund you the whole 10,000. But if you think, I learned that they pay better in Australia, so I don't mind what I've spent. I don't want to stay in this place. I will just go. So I know I can make this money if I work 3 or 4 months. Then they are not going to refund you. But at least to me, I think it's just me thinking. I still think it is maybe more financially compliant to the wallet than coming around to pick master's program in the UK. £16,000 or more. And you have to pay the big IHS fee and all that. Now, by the time you, if you are able to get the HCA thing, they will give, the moment you get the job, they will send you a pin that the moment you get the job and they are happy for you to continue, next thing you see, it is their home office that will contact you. So home office will contact you and they will say, okay, we want you to do this, we want you to do that. They will request your documents and fine. You just continue and you will be expecting your visa. Their visa is a bit expensive. It used to be 700 New Zealand dollars. I don't know what it is these days. And their salary is not bad. I had that salary sometimes ago, but unfortunately, it got deleted from my phone. But their salary is really not bad. I can still go on ahead and get what the salary look like. Please, so don't talk about red list. So New Zealand is not talking about red list. Please, please. There is no red in their list. There is no red in their list. Their list are green. Oh! If you see any red list they were talking about, maybe you've heard that from some YouTubers. It wasn't about the country that could come into them. It was about the jobs that could get permanent residency straight. There are some jobs that cannot, thank you very much. There are some jobs that cannot get permanent residency straight. But interestingly, nursing was added last year, December 22nd, to one of those professions that could get permanent residency. So the moment you get there and you get your registration and you are applying for your PR straight. Okay? You're applying for your PR straight. So their red listing is not about she's from a red list. If it's from a red list, we cannot give them job. WHO. That will not concern them, and we don't want to actually give them the idea for now. Thank you very much. Can I start? Yeah, I think I've answered that. If I have not worked from August last year till now, yes, you can start the process. Have you worked before? You we had 100 hours of experience in the last 5 years to pushing. Doesn't matter whether you haven't worked since August. Okay, you can start if you have the requirements. You can start. Yeah, have I attended to all the questions? I think I've attended to all the questions. Thank you once again, guys, for coming around. And hopefully, you guys will be able to start something. And I wish everybody good success, God's favor, and God's speed. Thank you, guys. Is it a safe place for me to run away? Is it a safe place for me to go? I haven't had breakfast. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, I believe this will come up at some point on our channel and people can watch and watch again. Then I will put the link where we can do our application. I'll put the link down there again. Bye bye. I miss you guys. Thanks for your time.